These mountains used to feel so lonely. It would only be me and the occasional animals. The snowfall would be so quiet, and the tea would feel so lonely. But ever since you began coming here, this place has felt so much more lively. All of a sudden, the sun seems so much more brighter, and the plants, they feel so much greener. How do you do it? How do you bright up a place like this? Is that something you human men do? I would not be surprised. Even with the few I have met, none of them have compared to you. And I can say that with ease, because I know it is true. I knew you'd say something like that. I always loved these moments of quietude with you. There would always be quiet before, but sitting in this comfortable silence with you, it feels so much like, it feels like home in a way. This place has started to truly feel like home, somewhere I never want to leave. I'm glad you feel that way. You've been so kind to me. So many people hate my kind, and truthfully I can understand why. I am not one to hold humans accountable for killing our kind. I have never been angry with them for being at war. More than angry, I felt sad, because in the end, there is no winner or loser when it comes to a war. In the end, there are only victims. I hope for a day when one day we won't be able to worry about that anymore. There will be no more pain, no more suffering, where we can just love and be loved in peace and tranquility. I realize that might be a rather presumptuous goal, but I personally would not mind seeing it happen. After all, isn't that what many of us wish for? Regardless of our races, we seem to wind up in the same place. But then again, just as with those, I guess there are some that wish the fighting would never end. Someone always has to be right. Someone always has to be wrong. And it's such a sad way to think. There's more than that. I know there is. What's that? Before I had my sister. Actually, I do believe I had 6 sisters. I am the youngest of them, having been hatched last. The oldest one, my brave sister, is red. I don't know where she is. Sometimes I would go out and look for my sisters, but I could never find any of them. I guess either they don't want to see me, or they don't want humanity to know they exist because of the wars and the death. I guess either way, I can understand. What's that? Oh. Well, I suppose it's not all bad. If it is as you say, having all of my siblings in one place with me, I would eventually lose my mind. But even so, the love I have for my sisters holds no limit. They are my family. They come from the mother. They are my blood. And we are one. And eventually, we will all return to the fires from whence we were born. Even if we are one day dishonored, even if that time comes sooner than we would like, I know that in the end, I will leave mine with no regret, because I have fulfilled my life's purpose over and over. Why do you humans wonder about destiny? I've always wondered about that. Some say that they are petals on the wind, floating about without any particular plan. But others say that there is always a destiny. Everything happens for a reason. What do you think it is? Personally, I think it might be both. Perhaps both of them are correct. But that could just be me. I see. That's a very good way of putting it. I suppose when you're immortal, that sort of thing doesn't really matter. I will always be young and beautiful. I will always be powerful. But even with that, I do have an end. Everything in this world has a beginning, it has a journey, and it has an end. And knowing that, I have tried to make the time that we have together count. Because I've grown so attached to you, human, that even the mere thought of parting from you, it is so very frightening to me. And whenever we are apart, whenever you do return down to the village to be with your close ones, to be with your family, I could not help but allow you to occupy every single thought. It is all good. Having someone to think about like this, it's given me a little relief. And knowing that you come back, I feel so much less lonely. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Aw, that's so kind. Thank you. How is it you're so kind? Knowing what I am, even if you've heard the stories about my people, you never look at me with fear or indignation. Why is that? You have something to say to me about that. What is it? You have feelings for me. I understand that humans have emotions, but you'll forgive me, and could you explain it to me a little? Uh, you, you're in love with me. Oh goodness, I've lost my words. Oh, of course I. I never imagined that anyone would say that to me. Even in my long life, I never thought someone would think of me as a love. That's. I feel so happy. You love me. You love me. Oh, yes, of course. I love you too. I've loved you since we first met. I've loved you for so long. I've loved you now, then, and I will forever. And even if we are one day forced to be apart from this world, I will never part from you. In our afterlife, we will always be together. That I swear. What about your mortality? That's so simple. I am a dragon. Any being that stands beside me gains my immortality. Alongside me, you will live forever. And we will always be together. Even if you one day decide you no longer love me, then I will never hate you, and I will always be here for you. I understand some things in this world are finite, even love, even ardency, but I will be sure to make this last, and I will be good to you. That is my promise. In this day, in this time, until one day the world ends, and even beyond that. I love you, human, and may we always be happy.